right. Once again, we are live on the Dory on Purpose show. And boy, do we have a show for you today. I am so excited. I can't begin to tell you how excited I am today to have this young genius woman in my studio. And I want to welcome to the Dory on Purpose show, Mrs. Melinda Colon. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. How you doing today, my sister?
Oh, I'm doing amazing, Dory. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to jump right. We only have 30 minutes and you're so deep and there's so much to what you do. I want to introduce you to my audience. I want to be able to read your bio and then we're going to shoot right into some questions. So I'm going to go ahead and put this up on the screen while I read her bio. It is extensive. I took a little teeny weeny portion of her bio and I'm going to share that with you right now. Melinda Colon is a business growth consultant, marketing strategist, and simplifier of success. Melinda Colon is a powerhouse in business strategy and government contracting. With over 2 decades of experience, she's helped clients generate an astounding, listen to this, guys, 4.4 billion with a B dollars in new business. Known for her innovative systems and unmatched expertise, she empowers service-based business owners to diversify their revenue, scale sustainability, and master government contracting. Melinda is also a sought-after speaker, podcast host, and creator of programs like $1 Million Contracts designed to help businesses secure life-changing opportunities. So it is without further ado that I bring to you this, as I call her, this young powerhouse genius, Ms. Melinda Colon. Welcome to the Dory on Purpose show.
Thank you. Wow, I am busy.
Gosh. You are busy. As a matter of fact, I know on the day of taping, which they won't hear, you had an event that was practically sold out. I mean, what did you tell me your show rate was? Over 83%?
83%. Yeah.
83%. Everything you do it big, huh?
I got to, right? We got big callings. We got to deliver big.
We have to deliver big. Well, Melinda, there are some questions that I told you I'd be asking, and then we're going to weave a bit of your story in this. But, my first question is always, like, if you were in an elevator with me and we're going from the bottom floor to the top, and I said, Melinda, tell me about yourself. What are some of the things that you would want me to know before I got off that elevator, especially if I was a potential client?
You could do anything. And so any limitations that you have in your mind is in the front of the opportunities that your purpose drives. And so we just need to open that up. We just need to knock that wall over so that we can see the potential. We can share your potential with other people and transform the world because it's possible.
I know you believe that. I've been on several meetings with you, and your level of confidence is just through the roof. You have made me believe more in some of the things that I had designed in my mind than I've ever believed before. And I can't thank you enough for that. But let me get into these next questions. Melinda, what inspired you? Tell me a little bit about your journey, and then what inspired you to branch out on your own and become an entrepreneur?
Okay. So, oh man, I didn't have a story like everyone else, like the entrepreneur story where you were selling candy in school or you have like a lemonade stand. I didn't have that, right? But I definitely was bit by the bug early on. I knew that I was going to do more and bigger things than what the system would teach us, right? And even in corporate America, I was just like, man, I want to do more, right? I was always pushing the envelope. They would give me a goal and I'd surpass it. I'm like, that's it, right? Like, how do I get into the bigger rooms, right? I was never satisfied. And as an entrepreneur, there is no day where I don't see God's hand in my work. And I'm so grateful for that. But it wasn't like that in the beginning. It was definitely not like that.
Well, can you explain to my audience what it is that you do? Because we see, I'm going to put up this spread right here, and it says
Mm,
diversify your revenue with government contracts. I read your bio. Can you break that down for us a
yeah.
little bit? What exactly do you do?
Okay. So right now I have an offer where I help people win government contracts, adding a stream of revenue, a stream of income into your business. So let's say, for example, you have a service business and you're like, man, I'm tired of exchanging time for dollars. Like it just don't make sense. Like the $1 million goal is just not going to happen for me. It's not in my cards. Well, here's government contracting. This is like a wealthy move. Okay. This is where the wealthy people play, because there are government contracts that are valued way more than what your clients are paying you right now. And they're stable. Like they're recurring stable, like a year at a time, 5 years at a time, having monthly income coming in every single month from the same client. And so that's what I teach people. I teach people how to get into government contracting and how to create a business that they actually love, that doesn't control them, that they actually get to control and oversee, so they can travel, so that they can just live the life that they always desired to have as an entrepreneur.
I remember being in one of your master classes. You know what? Let me back up a little bit. I want to tell you all how I met Melinda, because see, people don't understand, in my opinion, the power of social media. Because social media for me, I mean, it's where it's at. I'm 60 years old and I'm all over social media. So I don't know how you young people don't recognize this, but I was selling a digital product, and I was selling this vetted Facebook group. And
Yep.
Melinda's group was one of the vetted lists, one of the groups that were on this vetted list. So I joined this group just randomly, so-called, because I don't believe in coincidences. I joined this group, and this young lady comes in and says, "Who wants to be on my podcast?" You know me, I never miss an opportunity to say yes. So I jump on Melinda's podcast thinking I'm going just to meet her for an interview to see if I qualify for the podcast, and jump right into the podcast. I was like, oh, look like we're taping right now. And I said, oh my God, I'm on a podcast and I didn't even know it. And I said, this young lady is amazing. Just that first impression, they said first impression is everything. So I met Melinda in a Facebook group. I learned later that she is what they call a golden brain genius. And this is a real term, because I asked her a question. I said, Melinda, how do you come up with the things that you come up with, and what do you attribute your level of success? And she said, I have something called a golden brain. Like, this young lady believes in herself. And I said, have they always called you brilliant? And she said, yes. I love that. I love your level of confidence. And she said, I have a golden brain. And tell them what this golden brain is, Melinda.
So so two sides of a brain. Sometimes people are creative and sometimes people are technical. Very rarely are they both at the same time. And so a golden brain is someone who is technical and creative at the same time, and they talk to each other. When I have ideas, they're fully creative, and then I'm thinking data. Like, how can we tie in all of the strategy to this thing to make it real? So that's the best way I could explain it.
That is absolutely golden. I'm telling you, I feel like I have a golden brain too. It's getting a little
Yeah.
silver, but it's been golden for years. Let me ask you this, because I'm kind of going back on some of the conversations we've had in the past,
Mm.
and we only known each other less than 6 months, and we've had an opportunity to meet on several occasions. But
Wow.
one time, you said to me that you were working for someone else, and you
Yeah.
were securing all these contracts, and you decided that, wait a minute, I'm doing this and this for someone else. And you talked about your rate of, I forget what you call it, like
Yeah.
your success rate. What do you call it in your industry? Your closing rate?
Our win rate. That's how
Win
many
rate.
contracts we were winning. Yeah. Yeah.
Tell us
Yeah.
about your win rate and how you got to doing it for someone else to doing it for yourself.
Yeah. So I was in corporate America, 9 to 5, golden handcuffs, good salary. Oh my gosh. Great salary, nice, comfortable job. And that was my job, is to submit proposals for government contracts. But here's the thing, Dory, they didn't call it government contracting. Like, no job board is going to say government contracting. They call it proposal development or procurement. You see how the system just like tweaks a modification, a little word, just so they can keep you broke. Anyway, I digress. So this is when I learned proposals in government contracting when I was in corporate America, and the hard way. There is no book, there is no course. Well, until I came around and created a system that I could use, a blueprint, so that I can basically keep my comfortable job. And after a while, people were asking for me in my company, across the company, like folks in California, Oregon, New Mexico. They were calling me to be like, hey, can you look at my proposal? I mean, executives making $300,000 a year were asking me to look at their proposal. And so it kind of dawned on me that I had created something really powerful. And I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I just needed to put the two together. And eventually I went full-time, full into my business. I said, you know what? I'm just letting go of just like hovering between two worlds, where I was freelancing for 13 years.
Wow.
And I finally just let go. I was like, you know what am I doing? Do I want to go fast, or do I want to go slow? Do I want to be mediocre, or do I want to be great? And so I just had to make a decision, just fast forwarding through that story. And when I launched my business, I told one person in my LinkedIn DMs. And by the end of the week, I was fully booked. And it was clients who basically, they knew of me and my reputation. And they were like, oh, if she's free, we can totally work with her now, because she's not chained to one company at a time. And that's really where the start of that win rate came from. It was from my agency, that 74% win rate. So that means that for every 8 proposals that my company helps our clients submit, for every 10, we win 8, or we help our clients win 8. The industry average in government contracting to win, the win rate, is anywhere between 12% and 23%. I don't know about you, but I like to win more than losing. Like, there's no way. I'm competitive. I don't see it, right? Going back to, I love my numbers. And so 12%, 23% just wasn't gonna hit it for me. And I just wanted to play all out for my clients. And that's what I did.
Wait a minute. I need you to repeat those numbers, because there's somebody in this live chat right now who thinks that you made a mistake in those numbers. Can you just go over those numbers one more time for me?
Yeah. So my win rate in my company is 74%, which is about 8 out of 10 proposals they win. My clients win. The industry average is anywhere between 10 and 23%. So out of 1 or 2 out of 10 proposals, like, imagine like reaching out, doing cold leads. That's even worse. Oh my gosh. But like reaching out 10 times and 1 person closes. 1. Like, that's cold. That's really cold. In government contracting, you still don't have to build a warm relationship, and you can win 8 out of 10.
That is
so crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah. So let me ask you a question. There's so many businesses out here and so many business owners and entrepreneurs. How does a person become your client? What things do they have to have in order? We've had this conversation. Like, you don't deal with sloppy businesses. Like, you're too good at what you do. What things do you have to have in order before you even contact Melinda? Because I know the wheels are turning out here. I got to give her a call. Don't mess with my girl if you don't come correct. Once she's gonna let you know, because she let me know. Okay, get it together, Dory, because there's no business for you to be out here in these streets looking like this. What do we have to have in place to even do business with you, Melinda?
With me personally, need to have a business, like a service business primarily. I do work with product-based businesses. It's a little bit harder because there's not a big margin in that. But service businesses who are looking to scale. So if you're at 5 figures. If you're at like 50,000 trying to get 100,000 trying to make a million trying to get to 10 million, or so on and so forth. Is, I mean, the types of contracts that I've seen range anywhere between 100,000 to $1 billion. So anywhere, basically, you just need to have an established business and know what you're selling. This is something I say in my masterclass. I think Dory has heard me say it. Like, if you're a website company and you're selling paper clips, I'm just not your girl. Like, that's not that's not for me. There are other programs who will teach you how to get all of the contracts, all of the opportunities, if that is your strategy, but that is not my strategy. I help people build generational wealth, legacy building businesses. And so it's about just honing in and becoming the authority, the brand that people know, like, and trust in both commercial, which you're doing right now, and government. So that's how I help people accelerate.
That's amazing. I know you guys are blown away, because I'm telling you, every time I sit in front of her, I learn something new. And I'm not taking notes because I'm trying to stay focused, but I'm taking note in my head. Melinda, tell us, as a female entrepreneur, because this month we are celebrating the female entrepreneur. What has been one of your biggest lessons as a female entrepreneur? Like, some people call them losses or the anti-win. What has been one of the biggest lessons you learned out here in these streets as a woman business owner?
When we were going over the questions earlier, and I wrote something down specifically for this question. And what I learned, and it rings true to today, and I think it will for the rest of my life, is that nothing is to waste. Nothing. Like, you had a failure in life. Cool. Great. You have experience. You could teach someone to avoid that situation. Mm-hmm. If you had a win and then it turned into a loss, great. That's awesome. You now know where to start, and you'll go even further and faster. Instead of looking at it as something to tie a trauma or a fear around, look at it as an example or an opportunity to go faster and further. I'll give you a real example. So when I launched my business, I was terrified. I didn't have a business coach. I didn't have systems. I didn't know what I was doing. I was in VA communities, like virtual assistant communities, online business management communities, asking them what pricing should look like, and the feedback that I was getting were all tied to hours. I'm like, there's no way I am going to surpass 100,000, like get to 50,000, let alone $100,000 in revenue. I will never leave my job. And that really tied me down for a while. I was working so hard. My husband can tell you, like, I would work hours, 30 hours, 40 hours at a time, and then break for 2 days, because I was just like, where can I just, and it felt like I was, chained to my business. And I thought, there has got to be a better way. I went to the Lord. I was like, God, help me, because I know that you did not put me in the position to have a business and for it to be this way. And he showed me that I needed to let go of what I believed I needed to do, which is ask for permission. Ask for permission to charge more. Ask for permission to say, no, client, actually, the better outcome is X. Ask for permission to be the expert, to show up as the expert. And he says, stop asking for permission. They're coming to you because you have an expertise. They're going to trust you if you trust yourself. Wow. And it took me a long time to realize that nothing goes to waste. Like, no experience. I was thinking about the Israelites, if I can just go biblical for a moment.
Better go. You better go.
Just real quick. And the Israelites, what's really interesting is that when they were building the temple for King Solomon, they were using the skill set that they learned when they were slaves. Wow. Nothing goes to waste. And so really what helps me understand that every challenge is an opportunity, every mistake is that Well, it didn't go the way that I expected to or where the world took it. But you know what? Everything is going to turn out for the greater good if I just allow it to work. The craziest thing, you look at the seasons and there's 4 seasons in the year, right? So we start out with winter, then we go to spring, then we have summer, then we have fall. Isn't it interesting that there is this low, high in seasons? Low, where nothing is growing, everything is frozen. And then we go into spring where everything grows and blooms. And then we go into summer where everything is dry and desolate. And then we go into fall where everything grows and blooms. And it's like, that is the universal law of advancement. In reality, that is how God created it. So when feel like something is not working and it's just not coming out the way that we expected, I get excited now because I'm like, oh, that means I'm on the other side of opportunity. It's right there. Like if I'm in winter, man, spring is on its way. And if I'm in summer, oh, fall, let's go abundance, right? Because like we're never gonna stay in that moment, but we're gonna learn more about ourselves because guess what? The seasons repeat every year. So the more wisdom we have about the problems we have in our life, the further we can go. It's so cool. So that's what I would say is that nothing is going to waste. Nothing is waste. Nothing. There's no such thing.
There is no such. I can't interview you because I'm too busy. I'm here with it. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to conduct an interview here, Melinda. I need you to slow down. This golden brain got me on pause over here. I can't remember my next question. Woo, that was deep. Y'all put some fire in the chat for my girl Melinda because she just put a whole a master class together right there, and we didn't charge you a dime for that master class you just got because somebody, somebody just got freed because someone is somewhere feeling very bad about everything because the last season didn't work out, knowing that the next season is right here. I think we're maybe 2 days before spring. I don't know. I lost count. Maybe 2, maybe 3 days before spring. Yeah. Something like that. Seasons always change. Wow, that was huge. Let me ask you this from a business perspective. What has been your largest win? Like if you had to, those YouTube awards you get or those TikTok awards, what has been your largest win to date?
Oh, man, I feel like every day is winning. So I don't know, man. I mean, like an actual award? Are you talking about an actual award? Or
let me phrase it another way.
Okay.
What experience gave you the most joy? What is one of the wins that has given you the most joy, like in your entrepreneurial career, where you actually almost were brought to tears because that win meant so much to you?
So this was for a strategy offer. And I had a young woman come to my event, my webinar, and I had invited so many people and only one person showed up. So I was like, Lord, I got to serve her. So I'm going to serve her to the best of my ability. And she came in and she was just like, I want to do grant writing, right? And I said, why do you want to do grant writing? And as she was explaining it to me, her shoulders kept elevating. Like, I want to do this, like just the tension in it. And I said, okay, so if money wasn't an option, if we didn't need to worry about money, we exchange things like, camels and cattle, right? Back in the day, what would you do? And she said, I would love to be a health and wellness coach. And I said, that's amazing. Walk me through that. And for the next hour, I mean, not 5 minutes, not 20 minutes, it was an hour of her just ideating. She was like, boom, boom, boom. And just her face lit up. That was the best feeling in the world, helping her just reclaim permission on what she wanted. Like I didn't give it to her. I just showed her that she had it. And she was like, oh my gosh, I could do this, but nobody's buying what I'm selling. And I said, well, actually, and I pulled my golden brain out and I said, there's this influencer and this influencer, and let me show you. And I pulled it up and showed it to her. And she was like, wow. Her eyes started glistening. She leaned back in her chair. And that's what she said for a few moments. She said, wow, 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 wow. And I just, in my mind, I was like, thank you, Jesus. Like, this is the best feeling in the world, is being front row and center of you transforming other people. Like, I just get to be here. Like, I just get to, I get to show up with my popcorn and my tea and watch other people transform. This is amazing. That was one of the closest encounters of permission transformation that I've seen, the identity transformation that I've seen so far in my career.
All right. Now, I told you that there were going to be times in this interview where you were going to say something that you would have to explain. I need you to bring that in a little bit more for me. To say that again, the permission, that whole deal you just said.
Permission transformation and identity transformation. Okay. So permission transformation is, have you ever went to a restaurant or you've ordered something and you tell someone, can I get, and you start out with, can I get, do you know that that's embedded programming?
Wow.
So
instead of like, when I'll take, I'll have.
I want, give me. Right? And so I teach with government contracts specifically. I'm like, if you are going to go into government contracting, do not go into it like, can I just get one? No. Go into it like, how many do I want? That reclaims your authority in the circle of life.
So that's what you meant. You meant reclaim permission.
Yeah. Yeah. Reclaim permission. So like, you're not asking for permission, you're giving permission.
Wow.
You're giving permission. You're not asking for permission. You're giving permission. This is a confidence builder, automatic. When you start just using, it's just the smallest words, smallest modification to words that make the biggest difference. And then the identity transformation. So that's a part of it, identity transformation, because we typically, I'm not going to say this for all people, but typically we're raised to own whatever identity someone tells us we are. Oh, you're stupid. You're ugly. You're this, you're that, right? Sticks and stones, that's not true. Words are very powerful. So we actually absorb and receive those words and we don't even know it. When we look in the mirror, we only see what people see of us. Like, that's why, especially as women, how do I look? Well, girl, if you look amazing to you, then what does it matter what I think?
And know the days when you look in the mirror, you're like, girl, you look good. I still do. I kissed the mirror and my daughter said, what are you doing? I said, girl, because I like her. It took me a long time to get there. So I get it. Wow.
Identity is huge because what we do is kind of like a character in a book. We actually add things to ourselves, our limitations that are tied to our identity. So we'll say to ourselves that because we're a character that grew up in a broken home, that lived, that had one parent, latchkey kid, never had anything, that's the expectation for my life. And it's hard to break somebody from that if that's what they believe is a part of their story. And so identity transformation is like giving them another lens to see themselves in opportunity.
I got you.
Right.
Wow.
Like, you don't have to live like that.
Wow. Yeah. You did that for me when I attended your masterclass. We talked a little bit about when we did the coaching session, and we talked a little bit about the Purpose Academy and what that meant to me. And man, you brought that thing to get, like, you lit up like a light bulb when you saw what I had, and it made me say, wait a minute, Dory, this is a big deal. and that changed everything for me. And don't think I'm not coming back to you on this thing at some point. It's gonna happen. So listen, we're coming to a close here, and as much as I would like to take this for hours and hours, because I know we can talk forever, I want you to give us a closing statement. I want to bring it back to the female entrepreneur, because this is the month of March where we honor women who have had the courage, the fortitude, the strength to become an entrepreneur. But I want you to leave a word of wisdom for the female entrepreneur, a woman who runs a business and may have all these hats that they wear. What would you say to that lady right now?
You are beautiful. You are courageous, kind, generous. That's just a part of your nature. But it's time to step into your authority and your position in royalty, meaning that delegate, let go, like just delegate, let go, because you can't reign and you can't rule when you're mopping the floors. You gotta let go. If you're afraid to let go anyway and enjoy it. Why? Because the fear is the boundary you've been afraid of. When you break through the boundary, there's unlimited opportunity on the other side. It's like getting into a bigger room. It's like opening doors and seeing things through glass walls, and you just break through them because it's so easy because you've done it so many times.
And don't even recognize.
Once you let go, you don't even recognize it. You're like, what? That's for me? Everything is for you. If you're hearing my voice, everything is yours. You just have to accept and receive it. Let go of fear. It's not your friend. It's your enemy. Step in to your power. You already have it. It's already in you.
I want to bring this to a close, but something just popped into my head, and I have to ask this question because I don't know when I can get you back. I know you're not inexpensive. I mean, you're gonna pay to get in front of this golden brain, okay? And I mean, she's affordable, but she knows her worth. Let me just say that. Melinda, you walked away from a well-paying corporate job. And there's a lot of women out there today who, in today's economy, are learning that that good job is not as good or as great as they thought it was. And they've been sitting on ideas. They have, like you, been doing something for a 9 to 5 that they could easily turn into a full-time business. But they have family members. This is where I want to focus on saying, don't you leave that good government job. Don't you walk away from that corporation that's giving you stress and anxiety and making you pull your hair out and causing you to be ill at night. Can you give that lady a piece of advice? Because I know it had to be some family members or people who said, Melinda, I can't believe you're walking away from that good job.
Yeah. When I went full-time, Dory, I sent an email out to all my friends and family, right? That was what we're supposed to do. And I got phone calls from really close friends saying, is everything okay? Did you lose your job? Well, I can help you find another one. And this is what I said. And they loved me, right? But this is what I said in return. God has me on a bigger path and a better path. And I am happy to leave a trail for you. Why? Because I can't say no to God. He's bigger than anybody's excuses, comments, thoughts, fears, anxiety, stress. Like, he oversees it all. And I'm not going to say no to him. No way. If I'm asking for abundance, if I'm asking for more wealth, family, growth, influence, opportunity, the only person that's going to give that to me is the one above. So anybody that has anything to say to me, they have to speak to him first. It's just like, they love, but they don't understand. If you have a big desire, if you have a big dream, an idea, it was meant for you. It was planted in you. It wasn't planted in them. They're not supposed to explain it. Here's something the Holy Spirit told me. Do not share your ideas with small-minded people.
Ooh, say it again.
Do not share your ideas with small-minded people. Do not. share your ideas with small-minded people. You could still love them. It's okay. But you don't need to share it all. That God is transforming your life, transforming your business. That's not for them. That's not their time. They'll see when it's necessary. Not right now.
Do not share your ideas with small-minded people. Boy, is that a note to leave this interview on. Melinda Colon, I tell you, there is no coincidence here. The fact that we met in a Facebook group is just proof that God is still working his thing out. And I am so blessed to be able to call you my sister friend. And I am so blessed that you are now in my ecosystem. And it's about to go down. I'm telling you, because I feel it in my bones. I am running Miss Melinda's website. Is that correct? melindacolon.com. Is that correct? I am running that across the bottom. Can they find all things Melinda at that website?
Yes. Yes, they can.
So if you are interested in getting in touch with Miss Melinda Colon, if you want to learn about her master classes, she is also on Facebook. Melinda Colon is her name. What is the name of your Facebook group again?
Legacy Builders Unleashed.
Legacy Builders Unleashed is her Facebook group. I tell you, that's where I met her. And I promise you, I thank God for the day that I bought that package, because I really didn't understand the power of a Facebook group and building community. It really, really became real to me. Is Legacy Builders Group Unleashed or Legacy Builders Unleashed?
Legacy Builders Unleashed.
Okay, so let me make sure so if you want to see her on Facebook and join her group, is Legacy Builders Unleashed. Baby, she's always dropping it. When I tell you she got a word every day, I said, now what's she going to say today? What is she going to do today? I got a notebook just called the Melinda Colon book, the Melinda Colonisms, okay? So with that being said, Melinda, I cannot thank you enough. Again, if you want to reach her, learn more about her, go to www.melindacolon.com. She is the golden brain. And she, when it comes to government contracts, you heard her, 73% closing rate. I want to, as I close out, talk to you about some of the things that she said. She said nothing goes to waste. Melinda reminded us that every challenge is an opportunity. And she gave us a great lesson. She said the seasons represent the universal laws of advancement. So if you're having a bad season, if you're coming out of winter, baby, here comes spring. If the summer done dried up all your stuff, here comes abundance, and they call it fall. She gave us something to think about today. She said, go out there and reclaim your permission. And she said, permission. This is called the permission transformation. You don't have to ask. Understand who you are and reclaim your permission, because there's going to be an identity transformation when you do that. And if you believe it, it can happen. I see it in my life. She's seen it in her life. And guess what, ladies? She said it's time to step into your authority. Now, she said it with her chest. She said, you can't reign and rule when you're mopping the floors. Now, that's nothing against people who have a home cleaning business. Don't take it the wrong way. But don't go in there acting like you're not the one, because you are. Right. She says, God has me on a bigger path. Baby, this is what we're closing on. And I'm going to leave a trail for you. If you're not ready, guess what? I got you. Just it's some breadcrumbs right behind me. And if you just follow me, baby, you're going to make it to your place. Miss Melinda Colon, we are happy that we have had the opportunity to pick your brain just a little bit today. And I thank you as we close out for counting it not robbery to come on the Dory on Purpose show.
It's my pleasure.
It is our pleasure. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. This has been the Dory on Purpose show. We're all month long. We are featuring her story, where we're honoring female entrepreneurs. Baby, it's just getting better and better and better every day. We thank you so much for coming, and we'll see you tomorrow at 1:00 p.m. Take care. God bless. And we are out of here.